Have you always wanted to get fitted, but you don't know where to start, what to look for, or what even getting fitted for golf clubs means? Well, I'm over here at PXG today, and I will get my full bag fitted, and you will get to come on this journey with me. We have irons, the driver, and the putter, and it's pretty exciting. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Coach Cheyenne. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And look how pretty this is. We are in Houston at PXG, and everything in here is just beautiful. It makes you want to buy it. So why don't we start with the first thing on our list when you come to get fitted? What do you wear? Well, you want to wear really comfortable clothes, something you can move in. Athletic clothes is great. As you can see, I am fully kitted. And then I would say you want to wear sneakers. So don't come in jeans, don't come in like anything crazy. Just come in golf clothes if you want, or athletic clothes, something you can move very comfortably in. So a skirt, or you can wear pants just like this with a top, sleeveless top. I'm just making sure that I don't have anything really low because there's so much bending up and down. So for comfort. Also, you don't want to wear anything too baggy, so when you're swinging, it gets caught in the club or your hands are doing weird things. Even though this is very cute and I would rock it all day, every day, when you're coming for a fitting, you want to make sure it's not an oversized hoodie or a sweater and something that's not in the way. Or something super sophisticated like this. Ooh, pretty. Oh,
welcome
hi,
in.
Cheyenne.
John, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, follow me. John, lead the way. Where are we headed?
Come on in. You excited?
I'm nervous.
Nervous?
But excited.
Okay.
Let's go in here. Because I've been fitted once before, but like at a golf course. So I haven't done it in like an indoor space, but I do like that it's controlled because it was raining really hard earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this.
No. Set to 70 degrees, controlled environment, nice and easy. We're just gonna hang out, we're gonna hit some golf balls today and just have some fun.
Perfect. Anyway, I can leave this over here with my
Perfect.
stuff, and then I'll take all my jewelry off because I know that we're gonna hit a bunch of golf balls. So let's take all of that off. Anything else that I really need, I guess, before I start? Should I warm up or stretch or anything?
You can warm up. I will set up a 7-iron for you to kind of get loose and hit a few shots with, and then we'll dive right into it.
Okay, cool. Do you prefer if people come warmed up before, like stretched, or are you okay if like people do it here?
No, they can create it just like a tee time, where they can show up 15 minutes early.
Oh, right, okay,
And
that's
if we
good.
do have some time, if the bay's open, you're welcome to come in and hit some balls to kind of get loose, or just check out the floor, hit some putts, kind of get comfortable with the environment, kind of acclimate yourself to.
Would you have preferred if I brought my own golf bag that had clubs with me?
We do.
Okay.
We want to get baseline numbers off of what you're currently playing.
Okay.
See what the traditional misses that you have, what distance numbers, and then we want to be able to prove that we're putting you in a better spot than what you currently
Yeah,
have.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we're in Houston and I don't have my bag, which is fine, it's not like the end of the world, right?
No.
Like if the person doesn't have it, just to like help us out, it would make sense. Okay, so my 7-iron with my current club, how far it goes, and then we can compare it and you can tweak it based off of what you have here at PXG.
Right, whatever goals you might have, whether it's more distance, tighter dispersion, you know, we're gonna fit you to whatever goals you're gonna have. We have everything from your game improvement iron all the way down to blades. Perfect.
I've never played with PXG clubs, so I have no idea what is gonna come out of it, but I know I'm gonna ask you a ton of questions because
Perfect.
you're the expert, not me. And then based off of, I guess, what we see is working, not working, you'll guide me in the direction. Do you also prefer people coming with their glove?
Yeah, typically we do sell gloves here, but
Okay. But if they don't bring your glove,
Yeah.
do you want them to wear their golf shoes or comfortable sneakers?
we leave it up to them. If they're
Okay.
comfortable swinging in their sneakers, they can, or they're welcome to bring in their golf shoes.
Okay, just
Either
it's
way.
all dependent on the person.
Correct.
Okay, I'm just gonna do a few swings just to get loose.
what we like to do is play a little bit of fortune teller.
Yeah,
so
love
if you're
that.
working with beginners
Yeah.
and they're at swing speed X and maybe they're close to, say, going from senior to regular flex, we'll probably lean more towards the regular flex because as they grow and get better and more efficient, they're actually going to get faster.
Okay, great.
You know, and we'll also look at age and that sort of things and try and plan for the next 5 years.
Perfect.
So you're not having to buy clubs, say, every other year or every year because you've instantly gotten faster and now the clubs no longer fit you.
Sure.
So
If that happens, could you just bring your bag back into a PXG space and get maybe the shafts re-looked at, or there could be options for them, right?
We do offer spec checks, and then we do have the option to, say, get the irons reshafted. It is done in-house, but it does have to be shipped off to our warehouse.
Yeah, sure, to get that all
discussed
done.
but,
That's fine.
Worst case scenario, you can do that, but most of the time it's lie angle adjustment or loft adjustment, that sort of thing. And we can do that actually in-house here at the store.
Okay, and spec check is like a complimentary thing or something that we, like every 2 years I would come and kind of come by and say, hey John, how's it going? But like check out what's going on.
It's a complimentary service for the life that you have the clubs.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, if you make a major swing change after 3 months after the fitting, come in, do a spec check, we'll take a look and see what we need to adjust, if there's anything we need to adjust, or kind of show cause and effect as to what's going on in the swing or how the club's being delivered. And then typically, you know, if you're hitting at your club, if you're hitting off mats a lot,
yeah,
coming in every 8 to 12 months is probably a good idea because hitting and practicing a lot off the mats will move that lie angle.
Yeah, so I live in Vancouver. It rains a lot, so we hit off of mats.
Yeah.
A lot, and a lot of people that are like up north will probably hit off of mats, or just now indoor simulators are becoming really fun and exciting. I'm a big fan.
Yes.
So we'll just hit off of mats. Okay, every 8 to 9 months, come in and just double check.
Always
Cool.
a good idea to come in and get them checked.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet. Why don't we get started?
Rolling.
What should I do? Just hit a couple balls to warm up?
So yeah, I'm gonna have you hit 10 to 15 golf balls.
I can just grab this.
Yep.
Okay.
Just to warm up, get a baseline of, you know, swing speed, distance, that sort of thing.
Okay,
Granted,
maybe
we're
I'll
using-
start with a few small ones. Does somebody have to be a good golfer and then only they come for a fitting? Or like, what's your suggestion on who should come?
No, I mean, I have fit somebody that has never touched a golf club before.
Oh.
I've had a few people that have either just started or have never touched a golf club. And the goals are different for everybody that walks in the door. So you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have, you know, so many lessons or rounds under your belt.
In order to come and do it.
No.
And then also, can they just come and do like a certain part of their bag? Like, let's say they're new and they only have a certain budget. So they're like, right, we just want to get our irons done. Like, I'm doing a whole bag today, but maybe they're like, we just want to get a certain part, just the wedges or just a driver. So is that like they would just call or book online and just be like, hey?
Yeah, we offer everything from a single club fitting
Oh, wow.
to all the way to a full bag.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you just want to come in for a hybrid, that's, you know, you can come in, we'll set aside, you know, half hour to an hour for that.
Okay, cool.
Or, yeah, it's 2 hours for the entire full bag.
Okay, how many more of these do you want me to do?
Are you
That
up
sounded
to,
clean.
Are you up to speed?
Am I up to speed? I would say.
Normal playing speed.
Now I am, yeah.
So typically, how far do you hit your 7-iron?
Like 130 to 135.
Okay. Those are exactly the numbers I'm looking at right now. So.
Is that accurate for what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm gonna delete.
Should I hit one more?
One more.
I stood up a bit in that one, but I wanted it.
Taking a look at shot pattern, it's kind of equally left and right.
I'm all over the place.
That's all right. Those are the ones we hit, you know, maybe a little more solid. I mean, there's still some warm-up ones in there, so, which is fine. But I wouldn't say that you typically necessarily have a miss
pattern.
that's more left than right. Which shot shape do you prefer?
I probably fade more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to keep the fade, or is it something you want to eliminate?
I feel like this little cluster here is usually what's happening.
Okay.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, you're the boss, so
I mean, have you seen these numbers before?
let's see them.
Averaging about 68 miles an hour with the 7-iron. Neither good nor bad. Average ball speed right now is 95 miles an hour.
Okay.
You're actually really efficient with how you hit that. Smash factor is just these two numbers divided into each other to give us that ratio.
And smash factor, does that mean on the club face?
It's just how efficiently you're hitting the ball.
What do we want that number to be? What's the range? What's a good range?
Between 135 and one I've seen as high as 145. Perfect on a driver is 1.5. So if you hear perfect smash factor on the Golf Channel or that sort of thing, that means they're 1.5.
Nice.
So that is, yeah, it's just the ratio. So everybody is confused on what smash factor is, but it's
So
just,
it's club speed and ball speed divided.
yeah.
Okay.
Average carry, about that 130 number,
Yeah.
it's 129. Spin rate, it's okay. It's actually in a good spot. We actually have this nice little tool called the optimizer that I can pull up, and it'll give me these 5 different parameters on where we should be as far as height, spin rate, launch angle, ball speed. So I mean, right now ball speed's really good. According to TrackMan, we're actually a little bit better than optimal.
Okay.
Launch angle's good. Spin number, technically a little bit low, but as long as we're coming down at a good land angle, the ball's gonna land and hold.
What is spin rate? Like, what are we trying to get out of the ball, I guess?
Well, I mean, for irons, you want to have enough spin that when you land on the green, it stops relatively quickly. But depending on the player, if they're used to kind of playing
Beginner
that rollout,
golfer.
yeah. You know, we're going to look at rollout as well.
Okay.
You know, if you're used to that. So we have a lot of customers that say they hit their 7-iron 150 yards, but they only carried 140.
Right. So that's important to know.
Right. For beginners, a lot we're looking at both carry and total to kind of give them an idea of how far they're actually going to hit it outside. Of course conditions plays a big factor into that as well. Those are kind of the main numbers to look at, and that's the main numbers we're going to show beginners. The rest of these are mainly for us.
Okay, yeah.
So like attack angle and that sort of thing. We're going to try different shafts.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, what's this one?
So that, to start out with, I just made a guess. This is MMT, which stands for metal mesh technology.
Metal mesh.
It's graphite, and then it has metal mesh integrated into
Cool.
the shaft, so it's a little more stable than your typical old school graphite. Typically a good place to start for somebody who plays graphite or steel. I just made a guess.
guess.
Also, based on your club head speed, you are at technically the top end of senior flex.
Top end of senior flex. That sounds about right for me.
Yeah. We're going to look at weight, but I'm probably going to lean more towards the regular flex side than the senior flex side.
Okay.
Like this, that dispersion does look wide. Really not that bad. It's, you know, plus minus 34 feet.
30 feet, you said? 30 something feet?
34 feet, plus minus 34 feet.
On either side?
On either side. So it's really not that bad. You know, PGA Tour average from, say, you know, 130, 150 yards. Probably not that much smaller than, you know, 30 feet. Might be more like 20 feet, but, you know, working with amateurs a lot, they see that and they get kind of freaked out that, you know, that's a wide dispersion, when in reality, you're probably hitting the green most of the time. And that's the goal for any beginner, is just get me on the green. Also, club head wise, this is our Gen 7 player head. We do have a more forgiving one that is called the XP.
Okay.
So it's going to be a little bit wider sole, a little bit longer heel to toe, and it is more forgiving. And it is going to create more distance. So for people that are looking for purely distance, we're going to gravitate towards that club
Why don't
head.
I try that? Because I feel like that's a pretty good one for beginners, you think?
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be fun just to see what that even looks like.
Sure.
So this is the cool part where when you come for a fitting, they take the shaft out and then they can give you different club heads too. So it's like a pretty cool piece of metal. It's actually pretty heavy. Okay, this is the bigger one.
So that is XP. So if we compare it side by side,
So you said the base is bigger. You can see it.
the sole's a little
The
bit
sole's,
wider.
yeah, the sole is wider.
And then heel to toe, it is a little bit longer.
Yeah, I can see that as well. heel to toe, so it's longer this way and wider that way. Anything else in terms of the way it sits and looks different, or no?
It is slightly more offset. To me, it's a very minimal difference between the two, but there is a little more offset on the XP. There is more polymer. That is our secret sauce that's inside the club head.
Okay.
In the XP compared to the P, and that creates that marriage between the thin face and the polymer. It creates that explosive feel, soft feel, and then the forgiveness as well.
And is the shaft is the same, or we've changed the shaft?
Well, I went for one-to-one comparison. I just put the same shaft.
Yeah, just I was perfect. So we're only in this one. How many should I hit? Like 4 shots or something?
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5, and then we're only changed the club head, same shaft.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. That was very toe. That felt better.
So you got more ball speed off of that one. So that carried 139.
Okay. I was gonna say that better not go that far, right?
So that carried 146.
146 carry?
Yeah. Carried 144.
One more?
Yeah, one more.
No, but we'll take it.
So that was a miss at 141.
Miss at 141. It's not bad.
So
It's 10 yards longer than
right.
what my clubs are and the previous one, right?
Yeah.
For carry wise?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Part of what happened is the height came down maybe just a touch. Looking at that. It's about the same. Yeah, it's only a foot difference. Ball speed obviously went up. Spin actually came down. Not surprising with that club head. The spin's actually going to come down a little bit. For the customer that is purely into distance and really wants to pick up distance, you know, they are either just starting out and they want something super forgiving and something that's going to give them more distance, more confidence, or somebody that's starting to slow down and wants to just get the distance they lost. This is the club head we go to.
Okay, let's talk about my dispersion, because this one kind of seemed all over the place for dispersion for me.
A little bit. It did look, in my opinion, maybe a little bit light, so we'd probably have to add some weight somewhere, maybe a different shaft or something. I mean, you were missing it more one-sided this time.
Yes.
It could also be we need to go lighter in the shaft. It could be, there's a couple different things we look at. So,
okay.
But yeah, it's
we
all
got
personal.
distance out of it.
Yeah, it's all personal preference.
And how about in terms of forgiveness? Would that be considered the smash factor? No.
Right. If I delete the one that we really missed,
okay.
The low end was 139, the top end was 145 and a half.
Okay.
So as far as top to bottom, 7 yards, that's not a big discrepancy in distance. Also because the club head, it is lighter, you actually swung it about a mile an hour faster.
Oh, snaps to me.
Right.
Okay. So now what happens in your brain? You're like, right, we're gonna do what?
Now it's your decision. Which one do you want to get fit for? Do you want the more distance or do you want kind of the more control?
The $1 million question.
Right. So for your set, what's more important to you?
Distance or control?
Yeah.
Let's do distance, only because I feel like everyone that's gonna come here is gonna want distance.
Okay. I got you.
I'm trying to do it for the people.
Yes.
Okay, so what have you done different? Same club head.
Same club head, different shaft. I'm actually adding a little bit more weight. This is recoil, 75 grams.
What was the previous one in terms of grams?
70.
Okay, 75. We'll get stronger. Okay.
And this is more your pure graphite as opposed to, say, a composite shaft.
Okay, pure graphite. Let's go. That actually felt pretty decent for the first swing. Something that I'd love for you to tell beginner golfers. So see, all my shots aren't going straight. They're not going exactly where, and I'm sure you've done many of these where people are probably freaking out because whatever the case is, a lot of the ball is either going super right or super left, and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and having a meltdown, which could be normal.
Sure.
Just a reminder, you're not a coach, right? You're here just to, so tell them about that while I hit a couple.
Yeah, we're not coaches, but we do have the ability to say show cause and effect so that we can give you maybe some peace of mind as to what's going on in the swing. Our goals typically are to see better contact or consistent contact, especially for the beginner golfer.
Right.
That way they can still make that consistent contact, and then they can work on timing.
Right.
So for definitely the beginner golfer, it's all about creating a club that helps them deliver the club head into the ball consistently and make relatively solid contact. And then...
I've had 2 really bad shots back to back.
So I don't like that shaft at all.
Great.
Yeah.
On that note, we're switching the shaft. So how many shafts would you make a person try for something like this? 2 or 3?
Could be as many as probably 5 or 6.
Ooh.
Because we're going to look at heavier, lighter, and then once we find that weight class, there's probably 2 or 3 within there that might work.
Okay.
Going back into something that is more on the composite side. This is called steel fiber.
Okay.
So it's a graphite core with steel fiber wrapped around it. So if you look real closely, there is grain in this shaft. There's 59 miles of steel fiber wound on each shaft.
Great. Is this heavier or lighter than the last one?
Well, technically a little bit lighter.
Okay. So the first one was 70, you said. Second was 75. What is it, 72?
This one's 70 also.
Okay.
The next one we're gonna try is gonna be lighter.
Okay, so I gotta honestly save my energy. That one felt pretty clutch. That better show as a result of pretty clutch. That felt pretty good too. Might be more right, but felt good. I stood up on that one.
All right, one more.
Woo! Get there. That one felt good.
Yeah, I do like this shaft for a couple reasons. The spin actually went up a little bit, which is going to give you some more stopping power. Distance actually went up as well, at least more consistent. You're right at that 140 number.
140 for carry?
Yeah. And while everything was a little right, it was very consistent.
Yeah.
You had one that you flared, but the other 3 are very, very consistent. That could be just a timing type situation, or we could be aiming a little right, hitting the right side of the screen.
Just the lack of me playing also. Like I haven't played in forever, so.
But I'm actually really excited with those numbers because the height went up, spin went up a little bit, and the distance didn't go anywhere.
Perfect. Can I add something?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I said 3 or 4 times, ooh, that felt good.
Right.
Ooh, get there. Like, so in a way, as a player yourself, as experienced or not experienced, you can feel it as well, like on your face or in your hands. Sometimes the vibration's quite heavy. You're like, ooh, I hated that. Or when you're too whippy, you can't feel where you stop. You can probably tell just based on numbers and stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's the one I've said the most, that, ooh, that felt good, or, you know.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that TrackMan can't pick up, is how does the club head how does the club actually feel?
Yeah.
So a lot of what we're going to ask is, you know, does it feel stable? Does it feel whippy? Too heavy? Too light? Too stiff? Too whippy? I mean, that's the stuff that TrackMan can't.
Yeah, it can't. Yeah, that's fair.
And
That's the conversation you need to have.
Yeah.
So AI can't do it all.
No.
You need the person.
Yes.
There we are.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
For fun, we're going to try lighter and see what happens.
How often do companies, or I guess you could speak for yourself, how often do you guys get new shafts? Is it like every year kind of thing? Or is it, I don't know, how does that work in your world?
Normally, the base of the core shafts that we have stays pretty consistent. Every new season, every new spring or so, there's going to be a couple shafts that we add or remove from our matrix.
Right, okay, interesting. It's going to be a lot of rights coming through.
Especially with this shaft. That's why I wanted to give you some weight for stability, and wanted to try it just to show
I really
the
tried going
viewers,
left.
yeah, what happens when we can go lighter, we can go softer.
Right, so it
Sometimes-
matters to come and get it fitted.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. So contact's gone away, dispersion's gotten worse,
Yes.
distance has gone away. So that tells me I had a feeling
You just stopped and you're like, we're moving on.
yeah. So by trying one thing that's lighter, you've eliminated every shaft that's lighter.
So what was this one, like 60, 65?
This is 50.
50, wow.
Yeah. So we went down to 50.
So my sweet spot was 70? With that one shaft that we liked?
Yep.
Okay.
We can try.
Should we try a different, should we try the first club head?
Yeah. That.
So less distance, more accuracy.
So this is Gen 7 0311
Okay.
P, which stands for the player head.
Okay, and then that one is?
That is the XP, which stands for Extreme Performance.
Extreme Performance, okay. That's gonna be a bit right. Nope, I'm late.
There it is. Switch club heads. That was actually your longest shot of the day.
Hit me with the numbers.
143 carry. With a club head that's technically designed to go a little bit shorter, but height was really good at almost 70 feet, which we haven't seen yet. So that's why I said it's the best shot of the day. It's the highest you've hit it. Spin is technically a little down, but it's actually coming down at a good land angle. Ball speed was up where we were hitting it with the XP. It's up over 100 miles an hour.
When you do the comparison, I feel like the dispersion's gonna be wild on this one compared to the other one. Can we take a look at what that looks like?
Sure. 3 out to the right and then 2 that were kind of down the middle. And then with that one, consistently to the right, but we were very consistent as far as where the ball was landing. So, and that's what I should see. The XP is designed to be very consistent in itself. The P, not necessarily less forgiving, but it might add a little more spin when you miss hit it or flare it out to the right. But it does give you a little bit more control and actually shape the ball more.
Yep. So
you're a good player, so I would leave it up to you on what you'd like to do. I would still recommend the player head for you. I think you're going to have more fun hitting a little bit higher shots. You're going to be able to work the ball a little bit more. Somebody who's a beginner probably lean more towards the XP because it tends to be a little more consistent as far as shot pattern and hitting a little bit straighter.
great. So with your advice, let's do it. So we'll stick with this one. Now, would you make me do like every iron, or would you gauge me off of the 7 and then build my bag based off of that?
Correct, yeah. The build team takes the specs that we give them on the 7-iron, and then they build the rest of the set.
Okay.
So they adjust the length, the weight, everything that we give them on the specs, and then they build that set.
Essentially, that would be from like a 9 to a 5 iron.
It's up to you. Yeah, with us, there's really no rules. You don't have to get 4 through pitching wedge or 4 through gap wedge in your iron set. You could just get, some customers like to just have a 6-iron as their longest iron. So you can just do 6 down to pitching wedge.
Right. For beginners, that's probably the case. And then they would do different kinds of hybrids and woods to kind of fill the gaps after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they don't have to get all 14 clubs. We got great promotions right now where you could just buy anywhere from 7 to 14 clubs, and there's going to be a discount attached to any of those.
Oh, that's really nice. Okay, that's great. And that's something they come in the store and find out, or call, or online?
Either way, yeah, we have it online. You can call player support, they're great, or you can come into the store.
Perfect. So I've come in for an iron fitting, and I'm only testing out the 7, which is actually my favorite club, so I'm happy we did that. I'm 5'3". Can we talk really quickly about someone that maybe, what's the range where the club either gets, I guess, longer or shorter in terms of height? We
do carry shafts down to, say, a wedge shaft that we could actually put into a 7-iron. Those are about 35 inches.
What's this one?
That's 37.
37 for the average, or?
Yeah, for somebody like you, we haven't tested it yet, but I would try 36.5 or 37. I'm also keeping an eye on where you're gripping it kind of naturally, where it's comfortable, and we'd have that conversation on where we would actually build the set.
Okay, so if someone's much taller than me, if I am what would you say, 5'10" or 6 feet or taller, then you would change the shaft for someone?
Not necessarily, because it's all about how you set up to the ball.
Right.
How long
if
your arms are.
If someone's going to be down there, if the arms matter based on the height. So there's not a one-size-fits-all?
I've had a 6'4" guy that needed 37 when you'd think he'd need 37.5 or 38 inches.
Okay.
So
okay. Because people always ask me in the comments, I'm shorter than you, I'm 5'1", should I get a kid set or something? I'm like, no, just get a regular set to start off, and then, because people are scared about fitting, so sometimes, as we know, Facebook Marketplace, or they get secondhand clubs, so they get asked me those questions, which is fair, but it's good to know it really does matter on where you hold the club. Yeah, hold it closer to the butt of the club.
Right.
Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, great. So we've spoken about shaft, the club head, the length of it, and what would be the difference. Let's really quickly talk iron swing speed. So mine is, I'm assuming, anywhere between 69 and 70 or 71 kind of.
Correct.
Is that the average? Mm-hmm. That's me, Cheyenne specific.
Correct.
Now somebody else might be, what is the average for women, like amateur beginner golfers? 50s?
Probably 55 to 65.
Okay.
Most women that I work with, I have women that have swung in the 80s, but
Right.
those are rare.
Fast, yeah.
Those are fast.
Yeah.
Then the 50s, that's typically going to be your ladies flex, and then anything in the 60s, it's going to be your senior flex.
Oh, that's a good standard. Nice to know. 50s, ladies flex, 60s, senior flex.
And that's only for the 7-iron. You are going to swing the driver faster, so those numbers do move up.
They change. We're just talking irons.
Right.
Okay. I think we're good. If you guys have any questions, make sure to add them in the comments below. If it's not John, someone from his team will help us answer them. This is PXG special. You know what? The 7-iron, I can't wait for my irons to come. Then we will test them all out. Thanks,
Perfect.
John.
Thank you. 2 different club heads. Both of our Black Ops driver. This one right here is our new ultralight, which is actually 14 grams lighter than our regular Black Ops. This came out this year.
Black Ops, I'm loving the name.
Yes. Black Ops is designed for people with moderate swing speeds, anybody below 90 miles an hour. It's designed to help you swing a little bit faster and create more ball speed.
Great.
Which should create some more distance. Some people still prefer the heavier weight in the driver head. We're going to try both and see which one's perfect.
And you said the degree for myself we're going to try is
10.5.
10.5.
On both of them.
Great. And I love knowing the weight of the shaft. Like, how heavy is this one?
50.
50. So my iron was 70.
Correct.
Okay. And so the driver, more swing speed, lighter shaft.
Because the shaft is actually longer, the driver shaft you want to be the lightest out of your set. So the driver's going to be the lightest, and then it's going to progressively get a little bit heavier as you go down into the irons.
Okay. And how about the wedges? Same as the irons?
Typically, we're going to match whatever shaft we put in the irons into the wedges.
Okay, great. So if somebody was coming for a driver fitting, would it be around 45 minutes for them as well, just for the fitting itself?
That's the amount of time we set aside for it.
Okay. Could be more, could be less, mostly less, or?
Could be, yeah, it could be more, could be less. Sometimes we nail it in 20 minutes to a half hour. Sometimes it takes us, 45 to 50 minutes.
Right.
Tee height, do you generally tee it really high, medium?
High.
Yeah.
Okay, right, so you have this tee to kind of tell us where the TrackMan's gonna read it.
Correct.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Let's do it. This is the lighter one, you said?
That is the lighter club head, yes. So if you hit one more, and then I'm gonna give you the other club head for reference. Length of the shaft feel pretty comfortable?
Yeah, actually.
Okay, it's a 1/2 inch short from, say, your med standard.
Which is currently what I have, so that felt really good, and I choked down on mine anyway, so.
Yep,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So this is
Feels more compact to me. This
Feels
is a
more-
little bit heavier, right?
a little bit heavier.
Yeah, okay. What was that?
That was only 200.
Okay. Clearly the lighter one is.
The lighter one, you're getting more distance consistently.
I think the other one, but
No, that one,
the other club
it's close, but actually the ball speed was better with the ultralight. You actually had a smash factor of 149 once with the ultralight, so it's really good. We're gonna try a different shaft. So this one is also 50 grams. So far, everything we're testing so far is a regular flex.
Oh, okay.
This one is gonna feel a touch longer. It's a 1/2 inch longer.
Is my swing speed any faster than the irons? Hopefully.
Yeah, you're at 83 miles an hour.
Okay.
82, 83 miles an hour, which again is bottom end regular flex, top end senior flex. So we're still in that range.
That's pretty flat too.
So far what I'm looking at is trying to increase height a little bit. Try to keep the ball in the air a little bit farther down the fairway. And that should create a little more distance. I almost feel like the first shaft was the best so far.
Yeah, is this one longer?
It is a little bit longer.
I just feel like I have to get after it a little bit more.
Right.
When that one, I felt like I could stay in my stance, and this one is what I'm always doing, is always like getting after it.
Well, we don't want to make it harder.
But they always, I mean, when I get after it, they do end up going straight.
So this is back at 45. This shaft's technically maybe a little bit heavier. This is 55 grams.
So far, I've already noticed in the driver fitting, you're changing a lot more shafts, right?
Well, you're going to get tired a lot faster. So we
point.
need to see results faster.
Huh, good point.
Because the driver is where we're going to use the most amount of energy.
Yep.
So if I don't see good results within the first 2-3 swings, we're going to change out.
Okay.
Because the idea is I can give you any shaft on that wall, and eventually you'll figure out how to hit it. It doesn't matter if it's an extra stiff or a ladies flex. Eventually, in 6 to 8 months, you will figure out how to hit it. And that's not the goal here. The goal is for it to work almost immediately, see good results, good contact. All right, I've got one more shaft to look at after this.
So we're still with the lighter club head, right?
I think I like that first shaft the best.
So far, me too. But let's test them out. You just never know. No. Come on.
How did that feel?
It felt better, but I don't know.
Lacking control?
Yeah, it's. I usually, believe it or not, my driver is my strong suit, and it goes just dead straight. The driver is usually my go-to for just crushing it down the middle. Doesn't always give me height, but it just goes.
Right.
I think that one felt good.
Yeah.
Is this the first one?
This is the first one.
Yeah.
So we got it right at the first try. That happens sometimes. And we have to do a long journey back to the first one.
How many do you think I tried? 5, 6?
It's 5 or 6, yeah.
That's kind of fun.
So like you missed that one, and that was actually, compared to the other shafts we've tried, that would have been a good one with the other shaft.
Oh, right, okay.
So that miss was 208.
No one's complaining about a 208 miss. Well, I'm not.
That's a little left.
Bit left.
So just like the irons, I'm actually going to add some head weight.
Oh, cool.
So again, I'm going to try and help launch conditions by adding weight to the back. So I just added 2.5 grams there.
Added, okay.
The nice thing about our woods is these weights can be interchanged at any time. They don't have to be sent in.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So.
That's a bit left too. That felt good.
What I do like seeing when I've actually added weight is the ball speed's going up.
Oh,
More mass in the head at the same speed, hitting it really solid. We're actually going to get a little more speed out of the club head, out of the ball.
I wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, mm-hmm. So what
Really-
is so the carry says 174 and total is 214.
Yep, so really solid numbers. And if I look at,
Swing speed is 83-ish. And this is a regular flex?
correct.
Yeah, interesting. I've always kind of hit a senior, I think, flex. So I'm not mad at the regular flex.
So this is the type of stuff I was talking about, trying to increase carry. So like you said, you generally don't hit it too high,
Yeah,
but,
I don't.
but it goes.
Yes, it goes.
So that's what it's showing me. So optimal, it's showing me at 216. A couple of them, it's like 210. So we are right at that optimal number based on your club head speed and some of the other things your attack angle that counts for. So I really, really like this setup. We're almost perfect. There might be some things. I do want to test out one more thing, maybe the 11.5, to see if we get a little more height without sacrificing ball speed.
Sure.
But I do like that added weight in there. I think it does help you feel the club head a little bit more, and we're still lighter than that standard club head.
So instead of 10.5, you're going 11.5.
We're gonna try 2-3 swings,
Okay.
see if there is a change. The solution might be just to crank this one up, but I wanna see what the 11.5 does at the standard setting.
Same shaft.
Same shaft, same setup. The only difference is 11.5 compared to 10.5.
Okay. For me, it sounds better.
So that was 183 carry, 220.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking for. That carry, that total number.
Yeah, all of these to me, without knowing what's happening, it sounds better, it feels better. It's like I feel like I'm catching it more. What do
Those
you think?
last
What do the
three
numbers sing?
The last 3 shots are your longest of the day.
Okay. Wow, how fascinating.
So the first one was right on par with your best one of the day. It carried 5 yards farther, which was nice. And then the next 2 were 220 and then 216. So both of those were longer than your best so far today.
That's a miss hit, but it's not
It's
going
a
to be
little miss,
too bad.
a little on the toe.
Yeah, but there you go. Not
Two-
horrible.
Carried 181, it's 210, 209. Spin's not out of control on the miss, which is nice. I like it.
As we say, ding, ding, ding.
Ding.
As a player, it feels and sounds
Better.
much better than, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so then we know 11.5.
11.5, that shaft,
And you added a little bit of weight.
2.5 grams in the back.
Can I see the chart for this one on where like the ball was going, just to see?
Average side total, 10.5 feet right. We've got a plus and minus of 33 feet. That is hitting every fairway that you play.
You know what? That's what we like to hear.
Yep.
Hitting every fairway that I play. Absolutely. Okay, cool. That was a fun one. So this we hit about between 30 to 35 shots, 30 to 40 shots.
Right, and it only took us 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
And that's why we move faster, because 30 driver swings, that's
a lot.
What is that, 2-3 rounds worth of driver swings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can definitely feel it too. Like I think you'd mentioned earlier, the iron swings versus the driver swings, you're definitely exerting a lot more energy. Like my swing speed's also 83 miles, right? And that one was 69?
69, 70.
60, yeah. So I'm constantly trying to grind and get after it. So
Right.
I can already tell my body, yeah. If 25, 30 minutes and I'm like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like ding. Okay,
Exactly.
it's great.
So the fun part is your club, your setup. You know, we're gonna get 14 clubs today, so we gotta fill in that top end. This is where personal preference really comes into play. What's the longest iron you wanna play, and then how many woods do you wanna play?
Right. So the longest iron I usually play is my 5 iron.
Okay.
And then I currently in my bag have a 7 hybrid, a 5 hybrid, no, 7 hybrid, a 5 wood, and I don't have a 3-wood in my bag at the moment, and then I just have a big gap, and then I just have my driver.
The driver shaft will help us determine what's gonna probably go into the woods and hybrids.
Okay.
But ultimately, if you're happy with your driver, you don't have to come in and get fit for a driver to figure out the fairway
Oh,
woods.
right, okay.
Just,
You just know
we
what
can
it
just
is.
fit you for fairway woods, yeah.
That's a bit to the right.
That was better. Now, does that feel long, short, heavy, light?
A bit stiff.
Feels stiff?
I don't know why, but let's see, one more. Maybe mine are just very flexy, actually.
We are pushing the envelope a little bit on flex.
Total 178, 189, the one that was really clean, 189 total, and then the carry was 168. Wow, I've never hit a 5-wood that far. Wow, 189.
No?
I've never hit a 5-wood that far.
So we're gonna try a little bit different shaft. I'm gonna have you choke down about a 1/2 inch on this.
Okay.
But this is the same shaft. This is just the Denali blue compared to the red, and I do have it in 50 grams instead of 60.
Okay.
So I do want to see what going lighter does, and maybe a little bit different profile. It's just lighter.
Yeah. Maybe it's giving me more range of motion to swing.
Yeah. I definitely like lighter because the previous one you hit, even though it was a little right, you hit it 198
I hit 198.
with the 5-wood.
189.
No,
198?
198.
What? Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's far.
I do like it for the driver, and then I would switch to the blue and then just go to 50 grams.
Yeah, it feels better. Even if it just feels better. 184. Great. Great.
That was easy.
Yep. That was very quick compared to the driver.
Right. Yeah. We know the profile. Generally, it's going to be about the same shaft. That's just in the same family, just a little bit different profile.
Yeah.
And lighter.
And yeah. Wow.
So
the
actually,
profile really helps though. How interesting. For me, even for my eyes, everything. Yeah. So then what happens after this? Would I have to try a 3-wood and stuff, or you kind of now understand? Okay. And how about hybrids? Same concept, or would I try a hybrid out?
Yep, we're going to try it right now.
Okay, cool.
We knock out the irons and the driver first. Those are they're typically the hardest two to fit. And then once we figure out the driver, it just falls into place.
Okay, wow. I've
very
only hit
easy.
9 shots with a 5-wood, and we're already sorted out. I'm here for it. We're in and out. That's fun. Hybrid time.
So, pushing the envelope right out of the gate. It's the same shaft that's in the Fairwood, but this is heavy.
This is heavier?
This is 80 grams. So it's even heavier than the irons, which might be a little bit too much, but I want you to hit it.
That was toesy, but no, that's a bad swing.
One more, I'm gonna change it up just a little bit.
Nope, it's,
Okay.
I'm getting caught in the back.
Yeah.
I can feel it.
So I'm going a 1/2 inch short. Same shaft, just 1/2 inch short.
That was better, but
Distance not bad.
the first two were like, I think 145.
Yeah. Personally, I think 80 grams is too much. It gets heavier than the irons. So I'm gonna go back to the iron weight, go to 70.
And why would you want or test out a heavier hybrid?
Typically you don't, but
Oh, just to
because
see.
the hybrid is in between an iron and a fairway wood,
Yep.
since we love the shaft and the fairway wood, it's worth a shot to try it in the
Oh,
hybrid.
right. Okay, that's where we come from it. Okay.
This is at standard length. Does it feel too long?
Nope, not at all.
Okay. It's pretty solid. Yeah, it's all right though.
Bring your glove. Is this lighter?
It's a 1/2 inch shorter.
Shorter.
So it's the same shaft as the little previous one.
That one felt
Really good.
better show up. I was like, it felt 174?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty fair. It does go 175.
Okay. Okay. Another shaft. This is 60 grams.
60 grams. The last one was 70?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The launch on this one that went quite high. No. So tell us about this one.
This is another 60 gram shaft. This is made by Acura. It's typically a high launching shaft.
Okay.
But it puts us right in the middle between 50 and 70.
Okay.
So did like the 70 gram shaft at the 1/2 inch short, but this is just trying a couple more shafts to see if we're in the right spot.
That's a bit of a miss hit, but shouldn't be too crazy. They're all kind of going in the same area too, which I am appreciating.
Right, they're straight. Feel-wise compared, does this feel?
Feels good. Okay. That was a bit toesy. Oh, felt toesy. It actually feels pretty good, but I don't know the results.
That's it.
Great. That's a miss hit, but this one, the result, unfortunately, it's showing pretty. Is it less yardage? What's the difference between the two right now?
You've miss-hit this one a few times. When you hit this one, it's right on par with your best. But the big thing is you're straighter with this one. The MMT, the 70 gram, tends to push it a little bit more right.
Is it any massive yardage difference? Like, am I getting crushed on yardage?
No, they're both about the same. If we're going best on best, we're talking 176 compared to 175.
Okay, well, yeah.
I think the 60 is just going to allow you to turn it over a little bit easier.
It feels smoother when I hit it.
Yeah, exactly. So that to me is tighter dispersion. I would go with the 60 just so the progression matches also really well. So you have 50 in the driver in the woods, 60 in the hybrids, and 70 in the irons.
50 in the driver in the woods, 60 in the hybrids, and then
70 in the irons
okay,
and
so
the wedges.
by 10.
Yeah, so it's just going to progressively get a little bit heavier as we go down.
So would I need to do a wedge fitting, or once you know my 7-iron, you kind of already understand what my wedges do?
Correct. We're going to match the shaft, and then we have a discussion on bounce. So let me grab the wedges.
Okay, but now we're done with the top half, 5 wood and the 4 hybrid. The 5 wood, as you can tell, really fast. He could figure out the shaft. I was hitting it clean. Everything was great. I probably hit 9 balls, and it was like boom, boom, boom. Great, we're moving on. Less than 20 minutes, done. This 4 hybrid took a little bit longer, and that's gonna be normal depending on your clubs and what's happening and the shaft, the different kinds of shaft that are being placed in there. Is it heavier on the club face? Is it not? So just be patient with it. It's not always, you know, right away like it was for the 5 wood. Be patient with the process. This one took a little longer. From having done the irons, we did the driver, 5 wood, and now we're at the 4 hybrid. So your girl's a little bit tired as well, so that probably could be a little bit of it in between everything. But this is what it is. When you're getting a full bag done, you have to give yourself time and grace and just go with the steps, take a little break, drink the water, just, you know, we're almost there. I just have wedges now to do, and then we should be on our merry way besides the putter.
So, every person I talk to, we always talk about bounce. Bounce is the small number that is associated with the loft of the club. Higher the bounce, the more the club actually wants to bounce off the ground when you make contact. Conversely, the lower the bounce, the more the club wants to dig and interact with the turf. Depending on your type of player or type of conditions that you normally play in, it might be advantageous to go into a lower bounce or a higher bounce. So if you're in Vancouver or Seattle where it rains a lot, it's soft conditions, maybe a higher bounce. Some of the higher bounces are going to be good. Down here in Texas, kind of the lower bounce when it's nice and firm and fast during the summer. Turf conditions are pretty tight. It might be good to at least have one of your clubs to have a low bounce in it.
How about Florida? Similar to Texas?
Similar. I mean, Florida does get plenty of rain, similar to Houston, but they do get a little firm out there. So you could probably, depending on where you normally play, you probably know your course conditions that you might want to lean one way or the other.
Okay.
What's also nice is this 10-degree bounce for us is kind of right in the middle.
Great.
So if you have something that's not sure or just starting, we're probably going to gravitate to something right in the middle. It gives them some versatility on if they want to open up the club face and hit those flop shots, or if they just want to keep it pretty
Simple.
standard.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's do it. Let's keep it. Are you going to keep it standard?
We're just going to start standard.
I love that. This is the same shaft then as the irons?
Similar, so same weight. Even indoors, even though we're not hitting off of turf, like real grass, so to speak, you can feel and see the difference in contact.
That's not a shot that we want.
From one bounce to the other.
Okay.
Generally, we're going to hear the difference in the crispness of the sound.
Yep.
And generally, you're going to feel a difference as far as contact goes. Typically, you don't spend too much time hitting too many shots, about 4 or 5. So I want you to feel the difference going into the 7 and then also the 12. What's nice about the 7, it does have a little more relief, heel and toe.
Okay.
Which is going to allow you to open up the club face and hit those flop shots without exposing that leading edge too much.
So for the wedges, are you looking at numbers as well?
Yeah, we're looking at make sure spin numbers and everything like that is good. Quite honestly, the wedges, it's more about feel, feel and contact. We are looking at, attack angle, how are you delivering the wedge into the ground. That will help us. If somebody doesn't know what they want, we're going to look at attack angle a lot to see what we predict happens outside.
Okay.
Ooh,
that was heavy. Sorry.
It's typically nicer to do this outside, but we do have the beauty of TrackMan is we can
see the numbers.
Still fit and do this inside. So to me, the 10 did sound a lot better, a lot more crisp. It depends on what you normally play in. If you're back home, it's probably a little bit softer. So I'd probably lean towards the 10 because it does give you that option to still open up the face and not expose that leading edge.
This is the 12, right?
Yep. For my own personal set, I actually carry all 3 bounces.
Do you?
Yeah. Mainly because I don't know where I'm playing from day to day.
That's right.
If I'm playing in some wet conditions, it's nice to have a 12 in the bag. If I'm out here in Texas where it's nice and firm and hard, it's nice to have that 7. So for me, it just gives me that versatility. Like the 10, we're back to hitting it fairly crisp. Your attack angle has been about -2, which is fine. I mean, it's not super steep. It's pretty much you brush the ground. You're not taking massive divots. So picking bounces is, if somebody has no idea, more than happy to guide them through it, but it's kind of a personal decision.
If I didn't know, from what you've seen right now, what would be the suggestion? From what you see, like what are I guess from the numbers point of view or from where I live, you think 10?
I would do one of each. I would do a 10 and a 12. I'd put the 10 in, say, your lob wedge.
Yep.
And then I'd put the 12 in your sand wedge.
Okay, that's fair.
And then the gap wedge, whether we do the Sugar Daddy or we do the gap wedge that matches the irons, it'd either be the 10 or just that standard gap wedge.
And how about the pitching wedge?
Gap wedge is going to match the irons as well.
Okay.
Yeah. The lowest lofted wedge we carry or we offer is a 50.
Okay, great. These don't spray as much as we can see.
Yes. Didn't have to look at dispersion or anything on that.
Yeah.
We're not messing with the shaft. The shaft's great.
Okay, perfect.
That's just letting you test out the bounces and get a feel for them, and that kind of gives some insight onto what I think would be best. But most of it is a conversation of where you normally play.
If I'm new and I don't know and I'm a beginner, just come here, do exactly what we've done, check the 3 bounces, hit up how many balls? 10, what was that? 15, 20
10,
balls
15
maybe?
balls,
yeah.
yeah.
Hit 10, 15 balls. And then because we've already done the iron fitting, you kind of gauged my shaft based off of that. Is it similar or is it the same?
Exact same.
Exact same as my iron. So that kind of helped and eliminate one thing. And then now it's just talking about, like you said, what does my lob wedge have? What does my sand wedge have? And then where do I live and what those conditions also look like.
Exactly.
Great, fantastic. I like your suggestions and I'm happy with those.
Perfect.
This took about what, 15, 20 minutes, the wedge fitting?
Correct. Yeah, it's very fast.
It's fast.
Yeah, we
so
don't
the
spend a
wedge
whole lot of
fitting, and I would say the wood/hybrid is pretty bang on. The longer duration, really the core, the long one is the irons. The irons are like the heart of everything. And then, I don't know what your analogy would be for that, but.
Yeah, and that's why we start with the irons. We know the irons is probably going to be the longest. The driver is second longest, and that's why we do the driver second. Normally the woods and the hybrids, we take a little bit of a break and normally know that it's going to be fairly quick here. Wedges is definitely the shortest, because then it's more of a conversation. We're going to hit half shots and kind of let you feel the turf interaction.
Perfect. And to wrap it all up, will it be putter outside?
Correct. We have our own putting studio.
Woo! All right, so we are in the putter fitting. How cool, whole separate room. And the amount of putters that are just laid here is incredible. So I can't wait. How do we do this?
Okay, so picking out a putter for a putter fitting, it's actually 90% of what you like to look at. So the rest of it, I'm gonna help you kind of figure out what you need, but a lot of this is personal preference.
So would I just grab a bunch off the shelf here and just see? When you say look at, like over top?
Correct.
This one seems a little too intense for me.
Are you used to a mallet style
Yeah,
or a blade?
you know, just like everybody else who thinks it's the putter and not them. I've tried a bunch of different ones. I currently have one very similar to this right now. I had the Ghost at one point.
And then anything on the wall kind of catch your eye?
I've had something similar to this, a bit wider. Like I've had these two that I've gone. This would be too intense for me to understand or to look at. I haven't tried something like, what's the one in your hand?
So this is our new Allen putter. It is our zero torque balance putter.
Okay.
Came out last year. Quite honestly, I haven't sold many other putters other than this one.
Right. Well, let's do A/B testing.
Okay, let's do it.
How do you feel about that? Okay, great. That's a pretty big statement. I'm liking this.
So just like irons and drivers, we can actually put almost any head onto any hosel setting, minus the Allen putter. The Allen putter is just one hosel setting. All right. Do you have a grip preference? Whether it's bigger or smaller?
I currently do have a bigger grip.
Okay.
I have, but I'm happy to try. I have something similar to this, but I think it might be more of a triangle here.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go over here. I'm gonna grab some golf balls.
Okay.
All right. So the grip is loose.
The grip is loose, okay.
I'm gonna hold the putter head while you move up and down where it's a comfortable position. You want to feel like your eyes over the ball.
Here.
All right there. Check it. We're about at 32 inches.
That's cool. I've never actually done that with the.
Line up the grip. Okay. And then now, without swinging the putter, I'm actually going to drop a ball from where your eye is to see
please do.
if we are actually Yeah, it was a bad drop, but visually, yeah, we are right on the ball, so that's perfect.
Okay. So go for it.
Now we're just gonna roll a few putts.
She's crushing them. It's just like the golf course, guys. That's crushed too.
Yeah. We are aiming a touch right.
Well, they've all gone in the exact same place.
Okay, so from 5 feet, what is your typical miss? Is it right or is it
Yeah,
left?
right.
It's a right? Okay. So, like I said, this one I don't have one for you to move the grip up and down,
That's
but
okay.
I want to just set up where it feels comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make a change to this other putter.
That was a bit toesy.
Got one. Beauty of this tech is that putter wants to stay square. So as long as you're not manipulating it with the hands, that putter, the way it swings, it always wants to come square.
Okay. So I'm just aimed right then?
We're aiming just a touch right. That's what I've been seeing from the back. Now you're making it.
That's because I'm actually looking at the hole this time. Before I was just concentrating on my swing.
I gotcha. The Allen putter requires you to have a little bit of a forward press. What this grip does is already creates it for you. The shaft actually goes in at an angle, and so you can set up the grip straight up and down like you normally do and put that forward press on it.
That's hard. I've hit these too hard. It does feel really nice. Like when you were saying that it makes you hit it square, you can definitely feel it.
Now, there's no putter in the world that gets rid of the yips. Generally, beginners don't have that issue anyways, but it's normally from missing a lot of short putts. But what I have found with this putter is the 30 to 40 footers are a lot more online. Speed control is really good.
It sounds it even sounds really clean. Like when you catch it, you're like, oh yeah.
So I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate and give you something else.
Okay.
So based on what I saw with your normal miss and what we talked about from about 5 feet, I put a double bend shaft into
This one?
the blade. Yep.
Sorry. That's
all
just.
right. Just making my case for the Allen putter.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I've hit that
so-
club. I've hit that face
Yeah.
every which way.
Exactly. So that's why I said I haven't sold many other putters other than the Allen putter since we've come out with it for demonstration purposes. So this double bend creates face balance. The face is pointed straight up. So if I was to take that putter and balance it, it's called toe up or lie angle balance, which means as long as you're not manipulating, this putter will stay square. Which is kind of that technology.
Let's see
there.
that one again for the audience.
So face balance, and then the other one, the toe straight up. So lie angle balance.
That's gonna be short.
Don't leave it short.
I wanted 4 in a row. That's short too. But roll. Wow.
So,
well, we know who the winner is.
Right.
Wow. That's I've said wow like 7 times with this one.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible. And you said that you haven't not sold this one to whoever's coming? Like it's like
there's maybe in the 7 months that we've had it, or maybe it's longer than that. It's probably less than 10 times I've sold a different putter. It's in my bag. I see the results for myself.
What about the grip? What are you thinking for the grip? Just keep it the way it is? It only comes with this grip?
No, you can get any grip you want. Recently I have switched to this grip and I feel like it's a game changer. It helps, being that it's a rectangle, I think it helps me keep the face even more square, keeps the club head from rotating as much.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And then visually it helps with not having to feel like I'm really forward pressing the putter in order for it to perform it the way it's supposed to.
So I no longer need to do my forward press.
You can, but the way if you look at the way the shaft's going into the grip at the bottom, it's actually going in at an angle at that 2 degrees. So you can put grip, yeah, straight up and down, and it's going to create that forward press for you.
As they would say, sold.
Yep.
Well, awesome. Okay, so for the putter fitting, didn't take too long. Like you said, it's more visual, how you like to see something, and if you're new and you have no idea, you try a couple out. Like I tried what I currently have in my bag out. I did love the fact that you can adjust the grip length. That was pretty cool to see that. And then there's different kinds of grips as well, so people can try the different kinds of grips that they want. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, you want the ball to go in the hole, and if this is proving that, I mean, 90% or 80% it's going at least close, and you know what I mean? Like the mishits.
The face is staying square, nice and balanced, and it's starting at least where you're aiming.
Aiming, yeah.
And that's half the battle.
Really is. Perfect. Well, thanks. Thank you.
Perfect.
You guys, I get to pick a golf bag. So I've never been a fan of the ones for the caddy with the one big strap, because sometimes I like to carry, I'm going to the driving range. So I'm gonna pick like a fun, flexible one. What are some of your favorites?
Personally, even though it only has one strap, I do enjoy something. This is called our hybrid bag.
Okay.
So it still has the legs, but then the putter.
Ooh, on the side, and it
snaps
clips
there.
in. Oh, you gotta check this out. The putter vibe, you guys, look at that. Boom, and clip. Ooh.
I mean,
Okay, it's the only one that has this. That's a fun feature. That's a fun feature.
And then we do have our lightweight carry bags, which are nice, you know, if you do walk a lot, but
these are pretty though. These are all one strap, hey?
mm-hmm.
I mean, look how nice this one looks. This one has the same putter situation?
No, that's
only that
that's
one.
just a deluxe. This is the hybrid that has the
putter thing?
the putter snap on the side.
Okay, so
The deluxe version has more of your leather and then the velvet on the inside.
ooh, deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, velvet. It does look very pretty. I'm so nervous about like, getting it dirty in rain, but it'll be okay in rain.
It will. It does come in all black.
But the white is so nice.
It is.
Okay, it's between this and the one I actually have to carry. This is so light. Okay. Option 1. Super, super light. Easy for the driving range. Your typical golf bag. Or option 2. One strap and just looks pretty. I think I'm gonna go for this one. It looks so pretty. And I also really am loving this putter situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to get to, right?
It is.
Boom. And I'm getting this putter, so just look at how gorgeous this looks. Okay, one of the things that I just want to pre-warn you, because I know most of you out there will be nervous. You will be anxious when you're in the parking lot, like, do I belong here? Am I supposed to come here? I'm not a good golfer. I'm new to the sport. I'm a woman. Should I be coming and getting fitted? Like, this seems so foreign to me. The answer to all of that is yes, you deserve to be fitted. You are allowed to show up in your authentic form of however your golf swing looks and however you're feeling with your golf game. The whole point is getting fitted means they get to help tailor their golf clubs towards how you're swinging. So if your swing speed isn't as fast as the next person's, who cares? Whatever your swing speed looks like for that time or that day or that era of your golf journey, you're gonna come here and they are so kind. People in golf are so nice because everyone knows that golf is very intimidating. So when you first walk in, John greeted me with a big smile, welcomed me right into PXG's house, and then told me exactly what the day would look like. But I want to kind of give you a heads up so you feel comfortable the next time you go ahead and get fitted, right? So just remember, everyone's feeling anxious, everyone's stressed, and everyone's nervous. Just breathe, don't worry about it. You will be just fine. And remember, not every golf shot is gonna go straight. You're gonna see so many of my mishits and shanks and flaring to the right, curving to the left, but that's part of the journey. As a woman coming and getting fitted, one of the main things I want you to be aware of when you come is if you do a full bag like I've just done, it's a lot of golf balls that you hit. Not saying that you can't do it, because you can, because I just did it, but I just want you to keep that in mind. I probably hit over 120 golf balls because some of the clubs required me to hit more than others just to make sure that John had the right club for me in terms of the shaft or the club face. So it just depends, but like some of it only hit 9 shots, and we had my 5 wood sorted in like 9 shots. We were good to go. But the big chunk of it is your irons and your driver. So that will take about 45 minutes usually to kind of just nail down what we would call in quotations the perfect golf club for you and your swing and your skill level. So if you are a beginner, which most of you that watch my videos, you are, you should get fitted. Yes, most of us will start with second-hand golf clubs because we're new, we're just trying to figure out if we like the sport, we don't like it, we don't have a budget, we have a budget, so many factors. But once you've kind of played a few rounds, you're really, into it, you should get fitted because you will then understand what your true yardage is and how the clubs, you will see with my swing, how having a lighter shaft can completely change where my golf ball goes and nowhere desired of where I want the ball to go. So that's really important to you guys too. So pace of play on the golf course, pace of play when you get fitted, it's just as important. Pace yourself, take a break. Don't feel like, it's not like a test, right? Don't let the person grind you. I was grinding myself because that's what I was doing. And then I remembered, maybe I should drink some water. Maybe I should sit down for a hot second and just let my back rest because you're trying to hit your best shot every shot. So you're putting a lot of pressure on your body and you're stiffening up as well. And especially with the drivers, like if you're getting a driver fitting, which you will be in the full bag, you just want to crush every drive so you can really feel it in your body as well. You get exhausted a lot faster. So whoever said that golf wasn't a sport or you don't have to be athletic, come get a full bag fitting done and then I want to speak to you. Okay, how early should you come? You need to be at your fitting at least 15 minutes before your fitting time, tea time. So make sure you come. Ours was at 10 o'clock. We were here by like 9:30, 9:45. You can't go wrong with that because you know what? Especially over here at PXG House in Houston, they have like incredible clothing that you can be nosy and kind of see what they have going on, get acclimated with the area, look around, see all the beautiful things, touch, feel. Maybe you want to, feel inspired to try something on in terms of they have a fitting room here. That way, sometimes it just helps to come early to get your nerves settled, and people here are so kind, they'll engage in conversation with you, which will also help put you at ease when it's time for you to go in the fitting room. The fitting room, it's not a scary place. It's just like an indoor simulator space that you hit against a screen, and it's controlled environment, which me personally, I really enjoy because it was torrential downpour in Houston this morning. So come early, browse, see what they have over here. And if you're really feeling angst, then you can come and maybe hit a few balls in their putting zone over here. Okay, so you've just seen me get fitted for a full bag. That was driver, woods, hybrid, irons, the wedge, and the infamous putter. But with the whole fitting that I did, I also picked out my bag, which you guys saw, which I absolutely love, that my putter can go on the side. I'll do a separate video for you so you can see how when I get my clubs, how I arrange my bag, what I put inside of it, the 10 things you must have in your golf bag. All of that will be the next video. Make sure you stay tuned for that. But before I go, did you know a fitting only costs $25 here in Houston at PXG? And what's gonna blow your mind is that $25, once you get your fitting done, you can come, it goes as a credit to whatever you want to buy after that fitting. So that can go towards your golf clubs that you've just have bought or put in an order for, your bag, or any of the amazing clothes that they have here. So essentially, your fitting is free because you're getting a $25 credit and it's going towards whatever you want to buy, which is incredible because let me tell you, the other fittings that I've done or have been to have heard of is over $100, and it does not go towards clothes. It only goes towards the golf clubs that you buy. So that's a hot take. Let's go PXG. We love to see it. If you have any questions, as always, in the comments, ask me. If you've never been fitted, you're scared to come get fitted, you have questions on what it all looks like, why I should do it, when I should do it, ask me in the comments. And also, hopefully, you have seen something new that maybe you haven't seen. And if you ever get fitted, let me know. I would love to know if this has inspired you to get fitted, and let me know which clubs you ended up getting. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching.